Thank you for checking out this discussion of Western's programs in finance and financial economics. Some people view finance as the method the wealthiest 1% use unjustly or deceitfully to preserve their power and privilege and to oppress others. Beliefs of that sort have motivated government investigations and public activism, with Occupy Wall Street a notable recent example. Some might also describe financial transactions as legalized gambling or a drain on the economy. Others see in finance the engine that in a dynamic balance of supply and demand processes the information and insights of many to direct funding to its best uses, advances economic and social development, mitigates and distributes risk, and allows millions or billions to share in the wealth created by productive enterprise. Regardless of whether you have an opinion on that matter right now, refining your knowledge of financial markets and institutions and the incentives they introduce, along with the valuation of various assets and contracts, can give you a greater appreciation of the news and make you a more informed and effective citizen. Students who have completed finance courses are better equipped to choose among different instruments for their savings and investment, or compare alternative loan offers that may differ in repayment time, interest rate, fees, or flexibility. They should be less prone to being swept up in risky investing fads or swindled by fraudulent claims of massive returns. They may make superior choices among insurance products and possess greater ability to determine how much money to direct to savings, insurance, and other uses. Tools of finance can address whether major upfront expenditures on, say, graduate school, a house, or an energy-efficient heat source are likely to deliver big enough future benefits to be worthwhile. Finance skills help an individual act wisely in the face of evolving tax laws and confidently file taxes when the time comes. These sorts of skills can likewise make a person, if called upon, a good source of advice to family and friends. The benefits are available to our majors as well as to Western students of any major who enroll in our general university requirements satisfying personal finance or personal investing courses. Western's degree programs in finance and financial economics, however, are most specifically oriented toward the needs of the workplace, whether that be big business, entrepreneurial endeavors, government, or nonprofit. In a moment, I'll run through several of the career roles our recent students have assumed upon graduation. Finance faculty and staff aim to support students in developing a holistic understanding and the practical skills useful not only for their first jobs, but also for multiple promotions down the road in a future of uncertain form. Secondarily, the WWU Finance degree prepares interested students for graduate study in finance, business, or other areas. Even students who pursue graduate programs or careers far from finance should benefit from the competencies developed in the College of Business and Economics and the finance discipline, as they hone their quantitative, analytical, communications, technology, and ethical knowledge and skills, among others. In case you wish to skip ahead, or at least have an idea of where we're going, the agenda for the rest of this video includes the following. Is finance the right program for you, and where have our grads gone to work? Who does what in the program? How do you get started in one of our programs and then graduate within a reasonable amount of time? And what will help you get the most out of your curriculum in terms of having both the rewarding experience and becoming a sought-after job recruit? On the topic of jobs, recent finance graduates from Western have entered positions upon graduation that include that of credit analyst at the Bank of the Pacific, a position in which the former student chiefly investigated the creditworthiness of businesses that sought funding from the bank. A somewhat related task in a different type of financial institution is that of underwriting, and we have had students assess and price the insurability of customers for an insurance company and for surety bonds. A loan officer may be involved in many stages of the lending process, from marketing new customers to completing documentation. Tax examiners for our state might be involved in review of tax forms, recovery of taxes owed, or distribution of unclaimed property. One strong student went to work for the Federal Reserve as a bank examiner, evaluating the risk and management of banks and their compliance with regulations. Another alum works as a financial analyst for Symetra, an employee benefits firm. We have many grads in corporate financial analyst roles in companies such as Amazon. Some of our students, by the way, started out as interns at Amazon before receiving permanent offers. Business systems analyst at T-Mobile or elsewhere is an example of a position that draws on various business disciplines and perhaps monitoring and improving business procedures or software systems. Job as a real estate agent, likewise, is not exclusively a finance role, but one that benefits from valuation skills, and our department offers 2 courses in real estate, one of which addresses commercial real estate and investment, and presumably helped a grad secure a position at Altus, from which she has served as a contact for others interested in applying to that firm. Financial advising and wealth management is a common role for our graduates in which they can help others make wise financial decisions. Among other possible career directions include investment banking, which is highly lucrative and competitive to enter. A few WWU finance alums have become investment bankers, people who may advise and facilitate corporate security issuance, mergers, or other transactions, as well as trading on the bank's account, managing wealth for others, and more. Traders of various asset classes may work on their own or in trading firms. Finance applies to jobs as brokers who arrange trades in stock and other securities, or officials of exchanges or clearinghouses that match buyers and sellers and ensure fulfillment of contract terms. Risk managers may serve in businesses of all types, though especially in banks and other financial institutions. It's been more than 10 years since a WWU finance grad went into the actuarial field upon graduation, but finance and math are the 2 key elements of that high-paying career. Actuaries typically work for insurers or pension funds, statistically modeling their assets and obligations. Portfolio managers may select stocks, bonds, or other assets in which mutual funds, pension funds, or other entities invest. Venture capitalists invest their own and investors' money in startup companies and provide business expertise. Consultants provide guidance to an array of clients. Real estate development is another possibility, as is writing for a newspaper or financial website. If you do graduate work, you might go into research for a government agency or work for a university. This video started with the premise that finance was a topic of potentially broad interest, but some will be more attracted than others to money matters or that career list. Along with being curious about the topic, though, one should be ready to do a fair amount of math in earning a finance degree, and depending on the career choice after graduation as well. Most math you will encounter in our finance courses is below the calculus level, though very advanced math is employed by, for example, some quantitative trading firms. Finance grads do relatively well on the job market. This figure for 2018 to 2019 graduates, 6 months out, uses state data that covers almost all graduates and shows that finance is comparable to other business disciplines and offers greater monetary compensation than the average Western degree. And a degree does not just provide an initial boost. Data from the same source suggests that a decade after completing their programs, typical CBE graduates are earning over $100,000 yearly. Here are our full-time faculty members. Sophie Kong in the green and white is our finance area coordinator, which means she supervises non-tenure track faculty, is a primary industry and alumni contact, and leads various initiatives of the finance program, among other responsibilities. Moving clockwise, we have Earl Benson, Claire Lending, Eric Worley, yours truly, Nick Wonder, and Lee McLean. We're missing a photo for Professor Pamela Laborde. I won't describe all of us in detail, but you may read at least a little about each of us on our respective web pages. Marketing Professor Ed Love is the chair of the Department of Finance and Marketing. For most administrative matters, such as registration difficulties, you're more likely to interact with our departmental manager. Max Adamitis has done great work in that role, but plans to be moving on fairly soon. Our college leaders are Dean Scott Young and Associate Dean Wing Fuck. To quickly characterize the FMKT, that's Finance and Marketing students, we have some 2018 numbers. The population is the largest of CBE's 5 departments, with more in marketing than the 164 majors in finance. That 436 in the department does not even count 29 financial economic majors. That major is operated jointly with the economics department. 172 FMKT students graduated in 2018, 87 of whom had entered Western as freshmen and 25 coming from Running Start. FMKT students are the fastest to graduate in CBE, College of Business and Economics, which does a good job itself. Native freshmen take 4 years, Running Start students 3.1, and transfers only 2.5. Moving to the details of the programs, all business administration majors at CBE take 8 classes constituting the foundation, unless perhaps they pass out of a computer-oriented class, and another 8 classes that are the core and advanced core. One core class is Principles in Finance, Finance 341. I'll note that a general orientation video for the college may offer a little greater detail on the business administration program. But each of the several possible business administration concentrations is a set of 7 classes. For the finance concentration, at least 6 of those 7 must be finance courses, with the 7th potentially being chosen from certain economics or accounting classes. Financial economics, while involving finance content quite similar to our finance concentration business degree, is not a broad business degree, but rather consists mainly of economics, accounting, and finance. Financial economics is a good background for taking the test to become a CFA, a Chartered Financial Analyst, though our business administration finance grads certainly also can do well on those tests. The combination of economics and finance courses also situates one well for graduate study in either of those disciplines. Tips for students getting started in their programs would include promptly enrolling in the courses that are prerequisites for Finance 341. By the way, the term prerequisite in this context means a course that must be completed before, not at the same time as, starting the other course. Co-requisites, which are less common, allow simultaneous completion. Having completed the prereqs, you should move on to 341 itself right away, if it works out. For one thing, that would allow you plenty of time to reach advanced courses that may have additional finance prereqs and may not be offered every quarter. Secondly, if you have thoughts of an internship in finance or participating in team competitions of the sort I'll mention shortly, having at least some finance early on may help qualify you. For those with solid math talent but without AP Calculus credit, Math 124, Western's General Calculus course, is a valid alternative to Math 157 in Business Calc, even though our planning sheet for the Business Administration Finance concentration a couple slides ago shows only 157. One advantage of 124 is that if you later decide you want to do more calculus or other advanced math, 124 will work as a prerequisite where 157 will not. Both finance concentrants and financial economics majors must pass Finance 440, 441, and 444. These are each WP1 courses and collectively satisfy the university's writing proficiency requirement. None of the 3 is a prerequisite for any other, but they are all prerequisites for certain other courses. While there is no required order for these classes, Professor Kong and I have run some statistical tests on student outcomes and found evidence that taking 441 after 440 and 444 may provide a slight boost to a student's finance GPA, especially if that student struggled in Finance 341, the introductory level course. However, we also advise that students not wait many quarters before taking 441, as they will want the relevant content from 341, the Principles course, fresh in memory. The 400 level finance courses usually are not available to non-majors, which raises the matter of declaring a major. We suggest those pursuing a business administration major declare pre-major status upon hitting 45 credits in order to receive pre-major advising. A pre-major does not need to submit an additional application for full major status, as we automatically converted when eligible. To become a full major, a student needs to complete the 8 foundation courses. For both pre-major and major declarations, one requires a 2.5 grade point average for all college-level courses at Western and elsewhere, as well as a 2.5 specifically at Western. The college website lists upcoming deadlines applicants should meet if they wish to register as majors for the following quarter's classes. Declaring a major in financial economics is a simple matter and can be done as a freshman. Just be sure to have at least a 2.5 GPA across all college-level coursework. This slide presents the remaining finance courses we offer, with the exception of credit-earning internships. There are different ways to classify content in finance, but 2 broad fields and career groupings are investments and corporate finance. The listed courses may be most applicable to the respective career paths. Financial analytics is an Excel methods class of potentially high value in any career context. We also have the aforementioned real estate classes, bank management and risk management, and insurance. If certain classes particularly appeal to you, be sure to check their prerequisites early on so that you can plan and register accordingly. A finance concentration has 90 credits of required coursework, while a financial economics major has 94 to 97 credits. Given that each program overlaps with multiple general university requirements, even students who complete only the minimum 180 credits required for graduation have room for additional coursework. Students may profitably pursue a second or conceivably third major, or 1 or more minors are easy to fit in. Many positions with titles such as financial analyst entail extensive accounting, so pairing an accounting major or minor with finance is sensible. This holds especially for financial economics majors who may count up to 5 accounting courses toward their financial economics major and therefore require only 1 additional course to complete the accounting minor. For finance concentrants, an economics minor can be earned with as few as 3 extra courses. Many students in the business administration major select 2 concentrations. And finance can be complemented well by any of the other concentrations: international business, marketing, operations, management, information systems, which is computer-oriented, or management. A business analytics minor provides in-demand job skills. And there is nothing wrong with pursuing a minor or second major outside of CBE. Computer science skills come in handy in many finance contexts, as does math, especially for students considering a master's in finance or financial engineering, or a PhD in finance. But if your interests are elsewhere, please follow them. Your employability could be enhanced in unexpected ways, and in any case, the university experience will be more rewarding. Completing 1 or more internships before you graduate is likely to pay off. The experience often will help satisfy experience requirements in jobs you might apply to later, or it will at least help you distinguish yourself from other fresh grads. An internship will build your confidence and professional skills. Some companies extend most of their entry-level job offers to their own interns. And even if you do not get a job offer from the firm, you may well develop contacts who will be valuable in the future. Lastly, one of the finance concentration 7 courses may be satisfied by an internship course. That course supplements your internship experience with complementary readings. Professor Benson is the supervisor for our internship program, and you should consult him in advance if you hope to receive credit for an internship. Employers have told us that they value an international perspective, and study abroad is a natural way to develop one and make some great memories. Professor Kong and other CBE faculty have led students on summer trips in the Global Learning China program. That's been on hold during the COVID-19 outbreak, but should return soon. CBE has been cultivating other international relationships as well, or you might pursue a study abroad with a WWU partner institution or somewhere else. Earning credit at least toward the required 180 is quite likely. Participating in Western's chapter of the Financial Management Association, or FMA, is an enriching experience that also improves the probability you will secure a desirable job. Guests with a great variety of employers and finance roles present, offering tangible application of classroom material and insights on seeking an employment in their fields. And they're always happy to answer questions from students. Occasional events feature career service reps providing guidance on resumes, interviewing, or related matters. FMA members take tours of various businesses, with Zoomies one example. Some students have attended national conferences for more intensive interaction with professionals and peers. Each FMA year also includes some pure fun, such as the bowling shown here. FMA students are also among those involved with the CBE Investment Scholarship Fund, starting with money donated by the finance faculty, especially Professor Benson, and growing with significant industry contributions. A fund of around $700,000 as of spring 2021 consists of investments selected on the basis of input from students and a board of investment professionals, and the performance of our fund has been quite successful relative to suitable benchmarks. Students from Benson's equity analysis class make presentations on potential stock purchases and field questions from those board members, and other students analyze the allocation of funds across different classes of investments. Earnings from the fund provide multiple significant scholarships each year, with at least one reserved for finance students. One of the current investment board members, who, I will emphasize, all serve in a volunteer capacity, and also a member of our more general finance advisory board, is Anthony Zachary, who was named CBE's Presidential Scholar the year he graduated with a finance concentration. Case competitions are additional opportunities to apply business and finance skills while making industry connections. The Boeing Business Case Competition brings together teams of students from various business disciplines, with many teams including a finance member. Western has fielded teams 2 of the past 3 years in the CFA Research Challenge, specifically finance-oriented competition, and a global competition in which students present their valuation of a designated company's stock. Both teams have placed second, close second, we're told from some insiders, to Seattle University at the regional level, the 2019 event shown here. And a few snips from a 2021 Western team Zoom presentation here. Other types of national finance competitions exist for either teams or individuals, and a student with a particular interest might be able to get faculty guidance or possibly funding assistance. CBE has paid for the last several years for access to Morningstar Direct investment analysis data, which students sometimes access in the Sustainable Investing Lab in Parks Hall. Interested students may study material provided by Morningstar and test to become certified, which would offer advantages in securing some jobs. Other recommended certification programs include Microsoft Office Specialist, Bloomberg Market Concepts, and Argus Enterprise. Argus normally is very expensive software, but the company has provided free access to our program. I suggest students with questions about certification contact Professor Kong. Most early career finance job listings list skills in Excel and often other MS Office products among their requirements, but many demand or at least prefer additional software competency. Some of the more common ones are SQL, programming languages such as R, Python, or VBA, and business intelligence platforms, Tableau or Power BI. If a student does not take the upper level MIS or computer science courses that include such programs, and that would normally be limited to the majors in those fields, YouTube or other free tutorials may facilitate a degree of competency, and free versions of these and other programs are typically available, especially to students. The extracurriculars are important, but you also want to ensure that you are able to graduate when you wish. Complete a plan of study early on, even if some of your course projections are tentative. ClassFinder shows course offerings for a particular quarter and permits students to add classes to a hypothetical schedule. Timetable can display all finance classes, or those from another discipline, for an entire academic year. A given year's classes are published the previous spring at Western, but if you're planning farther ahead, most of the courses offered in a particular quarter stay the same from one year to the next. Use DegreeWorks to see the university and major requirements you still need to fulfill, and those you've already fulfilled. And meet with your advisor, bringing your plan of study, whatever its stage of completion. When you hit your final year, contact the departmental manager for a major evaluation and apply for graduation. Quarterly application deadlines to avoid extra fees are posted online. Many scholarships are open to finance students or else CBE or Western students generally. You may apply between December and an April due date. You should receive email reminders. These scholarships may place varying weight on academic or other accomplishment, financial need, or being part of a minority or other group. A finance or financial economics degree is good career background, but you still need to do some legwork. Start early on your job search. Internships sometimes require that a student be a year or more from graduation at the time of the internship, and offers may be extended as much as a year before the internship starts. Likewise, some of the elite level permanent positions interview a year ahead of graduation, though application deadlines would come usually during the final academic year. Even if you are not yet applying to jobs, attending career fairs or otherwise interacting with employers will help you focus your career search efforts and get your name in the hands of people who might later influence hiring. Soon after they declare major or pre-major status, finance and financial economics students should automatically be added to Google groups that send out many job listings and other announcements of potential interest. If we miss you by mistake, or if you want to join the group even before declaring your major, contact me at wondern@wwu.edu. As of this year, Western's main job platform is Handshake, and you might as well register for Handshake early. In addition to monitoring job openings, networking can make the difference. Visit companies, whether with FMA or otherwise. Connect with our guest speakers, join competitions, or do whatever you can to make interactions while not neglecting your studies. Create a LinkedIn profile and keep it updated. Cultivate good relationships with fellow students, your faculty and staff members, and others in your community. You may not know who will get you your first or second job, or who will be a future client or other professional interaction. I posted a link to one discussion on Wall Street Oasis, which has an investment banking focus, but includes mention of how dedication, in some cases sending hundreds of unsolicited messages, may or may not pay off. Well, that's about it for this presentation. Please contact us if you have further questions, or visit the many links that are provided. And best wishes on your Western experience.